A few weeks ago, I had one of the worst shoots of my career. Everything went wrong. And the worst part, it was for a production company that I deeply respect and for a client I have a real personal connection to. It was super humbling and gut-wrenching, and it reminded me of every failure I've had throughout the course of my career. So today, we're going to talk about the themes behind those failures and exactly how to avoid them.
My name is Nolan Matthews. I'm a photographer, director, and pilot based in Utah. After nearly a decade in the corporate world, I walked away to build a life around travel, adventure, and storytelling. This channel is all about the work, the process, and the stories behind it all.
I've had my share of failures on shoots over the years. Cameras not working, key pieces of gear left behind, miscommunications with clients, you name it, I've probably done it. But a few weeks ago, I had it all at once. A late arrival, a camera failure, and a breakdown in communication, which I ultimately hold myself responsible for with the production team. It was a high-stakes shoot, and I lost a few nights of sleep over it. But at the end of the day, all I could do was own my mistakes, learn from them, and move forward. And going through that process reminded me that almost every failure I've had in this career traces back to one of 5 things. Fix these 5, and you eliminate the vast majority of your worst days on set. Number 1, be early. I don't care how the shoot was communicated. If call time is at 9 o'clock, be there at 8:30. Better yet, be there at 8 o'clock. Things change, especially when you're working outside like I do most of the time. Weather shifts, light moves, gear has issues. The earlier you arrive, the more time you have to recheck your gear, get in the right headspace, and be ready to move the moment the shooting starts. Showing up early also completely changes your mental state. No rushing, no scrambling, no apologizing before you've even ever started. You walk in calm, prepared, and confident, and that's how your clients and your production partners see you too. This has honestly been one of my own worst habits over the year, overestimating how much time I have and finding myself sending that running 5 minutes late message way too often. There's just no excuse for it. Show up early and you will never be late. It's just that simple. Number 2, prep gear the night before. The night before every shoot, I assemble all of my cameras, make sure everything is working, and run through it as if I'm walking straight into the job. Then I break it all down and repack it. It sounds redundant, but that's the whole point. Every shoot is different, and something always gets overlooked when you're packing quickly the morning of. The night before prep is your final gut check, making sure that everything works, everything is packed, and then you can go to sleep knowing that you're ready. More importantly, if something is missing or not working properly, you still have time to solve it. Show up to a set and discover you have a problem, you're out of options. Discover it the night before, you have a few hours and a phone. This comes back to lesson 1. It will lower the stress temperature on shooting day. You will wake up, you won't be scrambling, and you'll walk into set with confidence knowing that you're ready to rock. Number 3, build in redundancies. In my work, we're often carrying gear on our backs, which creates real weight constraints. But even within those limits, I'm always thinking about what could fail and what I'd do if it did. Any spare space in a pack or a case gets used for redundancy. An extra lens, a backup camera body, additional batteries, whatever. Because when something fails, and it will, I don't lose my ability to do my job. You may not get to use the camera you wanted, but you still can execute the shoot. There's an old saying in this world, 1 is none, 2 is 1. It exists for a reason. As your creative career develops, you'll get smarter about these choices. You'll become a more efficient packer, you'll have a deeper knowledge of your own gear. But the principle never changes. Always prepare for the worst. Number 4, visualize everything. Before every shoot, I plan and visualize it as thoroughly as I can.
All right, quick visualization. Well, I do a visualization, but I literally think we packed most everything we have into this little truck.
If other people are involved, we do a pre-production meeting where we go through every aspect of the shoot, talk through the plan, and make sure everyone is aligned. Then the night before, while I'm prepping that gear, I do a quiet mental walkthrough. I'm in the field, gear in hand, shooting the job. Just running through it all in my head one more time. But here's the extra step that I take that a lot of people will skip. I also specifically ask what is going to go wrong here and what will we do when it happens? Because something always goes wrong. Gear fails, weather shifts, a planned shot just isn't working. That's not pessimism, that's just the reality of working outside in the world. The more you've thought through the contingencies in advance, the more calmly you can adapt when you're standing in front of a client and something breaks down. The times I've been most exposed are the times I went into a shoot with a wing it mentality. Yeah, you might get away with it a few times, but it will catch up to you. And when it does, it will always seem to happen at the worst possible moment. Number 5, think about the next step in the process. For a long time, I treated the shoot itself like the main event. Get through the production and figure out everything else afterwards. That thinking has cost me a lot of time and a lot of money over the years. Now I'm always thinking about the edit and the final product before I ever pick up a camera. Because if you don't account for post-production during the actual production, post becomes a nightmare. Here's a real example. I used to cut corners on things like lighting during pricing negotiations. Do we really need a gaffer for this? Probably not. Client saves some money and everybody's happy. Except in post, the editors or our team would spend hours correcting bad exposure and color on footage that should have been lit properly on set. The money we saved in the production, we ended up spending anyway in post, and most of the time we ate that difference ourselves. When I ran a construction business prior to this, we always taught crews to think about the next guy. Clean demo makes framing easier. Good framing makes life easier for the electricians, plumbers, and drywall crews. Creative work is exactly the same. Every step in the process should be done with the next step and the final product front of mind. Lose sight of where you're going, and every step along the way becomes harder to defend. Listen, throughout my years doing this, I've made all the mistakes. I've shown up late, I've forgotten gear, I've miscommunicated, I've shot the wrong things, and I'll probably find new ways to mess up before this career is over. But here's what I've learned. The mistake itself rarely is what defines you. What defines you is what you do next. Own it, don't minimize it, don't deflect it, don't disappear. Walk straight toward it with your client, with your production partners, and with yourself. Acknowledge what went wrong, communicate clearly, and commit to doing better. The creatives who last in this industry aren't the ones who never fail, they're the ones who fail, face it directly, learn from it, and come back better. Every mistake you internalize, honestly, is one you never have to make again, and that's not a bad trait. If this resonated, if you've had a shoot go sideways and had to rebuild from it, drop it in the comments. I'd love to hear how you handled it. And if you're new here, this channel is all about building a real creative career, the honest version of it. Subscribe if that's something you want more of, and I'll see you next week.